This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, head over to bigheadsmedia.com. Hi there, folks, and welcome to the Gilmore, the Gilmerrier.
What?
It's a podcast miniseries brought to you by us at TV Tuners, where we're going through the Gilmore Girl franchise, one episode at a time.
We're not going through the entire franchise.
Sure we are.
We're doing 5 episodes.
Well, I got news for you, pal.
What?
And I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and teacher who really wants to get with one of the Gilmores, Stairmaster.
Hopefully the mom.
Hopefully.
I believe it would be mutually beneficial for us to have sexual congress in your daughter's bedroom.
Oh, that's an interesting take. And with us, as always, of course, our other co-host and kid who is working
90s.
at the supermarket. And yeah,
You keep that food out of your mouth or I'm calling the police cop officers on you.
That's what a funny little runner we've got going on between you and this lady.
Well, she's white, so
calling
she
the
doesn't
cops.
have anything to worry about.
Cops called.
Yeah, it's true. Be a whole different story otherwise.
Luckily, there's no black people in this show.
Yeah. We're free from that.
Whoa.
Here in Connecticut. So yes, welcome to the Gilmore, the Gilmerrier, a mini-series brought to you by TV Tuners.
I've got a question for you guys. How would you feel if they had an 8-foot-tall black character in this program?
Does the ground shake when he walks by?
I would love to see the camera techniques that they would have to use for when he walks by.
I think he would be a background character, and whenever he walks by, the camera doesn't shake, but it looks at him like
It zooms in,
yeah, he's just walking by, minding his own business, and the camera turns and
goes off in a start, panning over and zooming in on him rapidly.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good.
While the characters are still talking.
Well, that's inclusion, so I'm all in.
The cameraman just holy shit, I gotta get footage of this.
It's not even an extra, it's just a guy who wandered in.
A very large man wandered in.
And then they just brought him back for more episodes.
It's like Bob from Twin Peaks.
Yeah, exactly.
Except black.
Yeah, and not evil, probably.
Hopefully not. That would be really
Of course
bad
he'd be the
representation.
antagonist.
Yeah, for all these wealthy white people.
Yeah, he's the antagonist just by being there.
It's like reverse Get Out. So yeah, this is a mini series brought to you by not just us at TV Tuners, but buy me. It's sponsored by our Buy Me a Coffee page because someone
Doritos.
bought us a coffee. Yeah, we're also sponsored by Doritos. Grab yourself a pack today.
Sour cream.
That's not a brand of Doritos.
Ranch.
Cool Ranch, Stairmaster. Get it right. Sour cream and onion. What do you?
I just got an email from the Frito-Lay company.
Yeah, what does it say?
Says
I have to go
the
off.
sponsorship is now canceled because of Stairmaster's blatant ignorance.
That's the third time this week, Stair.
Ooh,
Doritos is a Frito-Lay product, right?
Yeah.
I hope so. Otherwise, that email's going to be real weird.
Are they still going on strike, the Frito-Lay guys?
It's Nabisco, isn't it?
I thought Frito-Lay's was owned by Nabisco, or Nabisco was owned by Frito-Lay.
Oh, maybe. Well, either way, we're in solidarity with the workers.
Yeah, fuck Doritos.
Yeah. Also, Nabisco was responsible for trying to get Danny DeVito unblue checkmarked.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, scumbags. So yes, as I was saying earlier, we're doing this mini-series because someone bought us 5 coffees to do 5 episodes. Dina from the Mediapath podcast.
Oh no!
Bought us these episodes, and this is it. This is number 5, so we're done, right?
What about?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There's no way that we could. Wait, hold on. I'm looking at the page.
Oh no!
Oh, we got. It seems like a mysterious figure known as Geo bought us 5 more.
Fuck! I knew.
Well,
it.
okay. We should reveal what the actual offer was here in case anyone looks at the Buy Me a Coffee page. So Geo told us that he could read the seminal cyberpunk novel by William Gibson, Neuromancer, or we could watch 5 more episodes of Gilmore Girls. And we decided that we're not book readers on the podcast. This is TV tuners, all right? It's sort of the opposite.
This is not NPR's Bookworm podcast.
Maybe if it was like a visual novel with hot anime babes.
Yeah.
Then you
would
get
like
stew
that.
cooking. Well, me and Keo would be on board.
So it does seem like this is not actually the end of the Gilmore, the Gilmerrier. In fact, we've got 5 more episodes of this bad boy.
That's crazy. How could they possibly do this?
If you give
They
us,
massacred us.
if you buy us 70 coffees, we will read Fate Stay Night in its entirety.
Oh boy. Well, the gauntlet has been thrown down apparently. If someone's willing, but if you buy us just 1 coffee, of course, you could also get something of your choosing. So, we've been doing these we did last week's bonus episode, Char's Counterattack, and
Yeah.
these bonus episodes is going to be sort of taking the place of our weekly episodes for the next little while until we're caught up.
Because we're backed up.
Yeah, and no one likes being backed up. So we gotta just let it loose for a month or so, and so I guess that means we should translate over to the bonus episodes some regular weekly bits that we do on the pod that people like.
They're demanding.
They don't complain about it. I know that much.
Yeah, that is actually how we gauge interest on the pod, is if you're complaining about it or not. And if you don't complain about it, then we just assume you like it.
We got rave reviews for that segment where I poured water softener into my tanks.
Yes, people loved it.
Did we?
Martin liked it.
Yeah, he commented on it, which means positive. Just like he also was commenting about a segment from like episode 16 where I read erotica.
No, it was
bad erotica.
He said the random Wikipedia article one was good, not the salt one. Never mind.
Well, you live and you learn. So yeah, I think it's time we bring over some segments from the regular pod over these bonus episodes, and of course, there's no better way to start off than with a tweet of the week.
So,
for the record, though, Martin said that they were innovative, not that they were good.
How many things do you describe as innovative that are bad, Keo?
I mean, the Nazis had an innovative chemical weapons program during World War II.
And it was bad, for the record.
I guess, yeah, you got me there. True that.
So for this tweet of the week, of course, we're watching the Gilmore Girls. So I searched Twitter for all tweets about the band Ween. And this comes from @MiltyBot, who writes...
Wait, what? Why you do that?
He writes, "The only way to uncover the truth is to speak to the Oracle, my Ween."
Oh.
Sent 30 minutes ago. Fresh
tweet coming out of the oven.
So tune in or tune out.
Well, So the Oracle in this sense, the person who is giving him guidance in both his life and his spirituality is Ween.
It's a ding dong.
Is pee-pee.
Personally, when I follow that advice, it's not a good idea.
Yeah? It doesn't lead to good things for you?
No, it's like, whoa,
it's like,
whoa,
no.
I find that a lot of time is wasted when I listen to my Oracle.
Give or take 10 minutes.
Yeah, depending on the materials beforehand.
I mean, I could get into a whole like
half hour,
month long ordeal.
Oh no! Like you're not eating.
Yeah, I'm not eating. I'm just like out
in his zone,
out
at peace,
out in the urban streets.
Oh no!
Oh no! Are there anything other than urban streets?
Not in L.A. It's just one big suburb.
Yeah, they call it the concrete jungle over there.
They do call it that.
They call it that in public, right? You go out and they're like, "Hey, welcome to the concrete jungle." That's how they talk in LA.
And they're like, "You're in the wrong neighborhood." That's what they say to me.
Well, what would your ween tell you to do in that situation?
It would tell me like find the nearest female.
Oh no!
Electrochemistry.
Maybe this is a. You know what? I'm gonna have to tune out on this tweet.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's what I'm telling you guys. It's not good, and that's why you don't listen.
Don't listen to the band Ween.
Yeah,
never listen to the band Ween. Ocean Man is officially off my playlist.
Man, take me by the hand to the land.
No, Sarah, it's off the playlist.
Off the playlist.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, that's a tune out. Sorry, what was his Twitter name?
I've already forgot. Milton Bradley or some stupid shit like that.
Sorry, Milton. Sorry, Milton Bradley on Twitter. I hope the playhouses are going well for you. So that's been Tweet of the Week. A reminder that you can find us on Twitter and all of our great TV content over at TV Tuners on Twitter.
No,
we're not there.
Mm-mm. No.
What if they go over there? What do they find?
Filth.
Well, but isn't that our content?
Yeah, pretty much.
When you get down to it. And that's not the only way you can communicate with us. Just because we're doing these bonus episodes doesn't mean that you can't send us any quips, comments, questions, foresights. Otherwise, over at our email address.
Telegraph?
Yeah, you can do that as well. Any of those things can be sent to our email, and we'll read them aloud here on the pod. That's tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's that email, Gilmerrier?
It's like TV... Oh
shit!
Oh my god! It's like TV tuner. There we go, TV tuner.
That's right. Yeah, you can be like Gio, who sent us this email. Get up, TV tuners. Get up.
Uh-oh, I wonder what this is about.
Damn it, TV tuners. The bell hasn't rang yet. Do you see those people in the audience out there? They're there for you. Get up.
Wow.
The prophecy.
Wow, this is just like Hajime no Ippo.
I was going to say something
Raging Bull,
we didn't
post episodes for a while. Is that what this is?
I think this is in reference to the fact that we were on a bit of a month-plus long hiatus. And this is just Gio checking in, seeing how things are going. Well, hey, Gio, we're back, buddy. We're glad to be back.
This is like that warning sign we were talking about before, where if Gio starts emailing about how we haven't posted, then we need to start posting again.
Yeah, well, he did it just in time too. This came last Wednesday, so this was right. This was the day of the episode being dropped, actually.
So he can take credit.
Yeah. Hey, Gio, if anyone's asking, if anyone's asking, you save TV tuners. Thanks for the encouragement. All right. With all that out of the way, there's only one last segment that I want to bring over to these bonus episodes before we talk about Gilmore Girls. What'd you guys watch this week? Anything fun? Interesting?
I watched a lot of stuff. I finished After War Gundam X.
Oh. Was there another war, or was it just all after?
Almost.
Oh, no.
I mean, like, a bunch of people did die.
Now, this is the one that had, like, 36 episodes or whatever?
39 episodes. Yeah, it got canceled prematurely, so they had to, like, scrape up the final arc in the last 6 episodes.
Oh.
Including introducing the Char Aznavour ripoff of their show, who barely gets any screen time.
You gotta have it in a Gundam, though.
Yeah.
What was this one called?
Lancero. I've already forgotten.
Oh, no.
Wow, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, I feel like the show kind of drops in the second half, to be honest.
Dang.
And also, offhandedly, they just introduced the first new type who has been, like, cut to pieces and turned into a big computer base on the moon. And is now known as Dome.
Alright, that's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, but
That's pretty hardcore.
that is a lot. Yeah, but this is brought up in the last 2 episodes.
Oh, alright.
It's like a kind of a big tone shift going into this Evangelion territory.
My name is
biotechnology.
Dome.
Yeah. Well, it's a soft-spoken Japanese psychic man, of course.
Oh, that tracks, yeah.
Who basically tells you that just because you have psychic powers doesn't mean you're the Messiah. And everyone nods.
No, I disagree.
Yeah. If Akira has taught me anything, it means that psychic powers are only good for the human body.
True. What else?
And there's a big beam struggle. And the bad guys get blown up. And then, like, in the last shot, you see one of them's in a wheelchair being pushed by another one, and I guess they're good guys now. But it's... what else did I watch? I watched Cromwell from 1970 about Oliver Cromwell.
Okay.
Okay, how's that?
It was pretty good. It's Richard Harris, British guy. Who's in some movies you know.
Isn't that the guy from Chernobyl?
He's very old now. He was in Patriot Games. And it's also Sir Alec Guinness as the King of England.
Oh,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, kind of a middling film, but it kind of pushes into give it a check territory because of the good sir.
For those wondering, I was thinking of Jared Harris from Chernobyl.
No relation?
As far as I know. No relation. Yes. Parent. Richard Harris.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so you would tune in on that one?
Yeah. A soft tune in.
Well, yeah, it's Alec Guinness that is in there. That's Obi-Wan Kenobi from the movie that you've watched of Star Wars, Kieran.
Oh, I watched that?
You watched it.
You asked Stara a bunch of questions about it, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I saw a Star Wars movie. They were in space.
True.
It's true. They do that a lot. They love space in those movies.
So how does a soft tune-in compare to a light tune-in?
They're the same thing. I just forgot what we called it because it's been so long.
It's a soft shell tune-in. If you don't want that hard crunch of a regular tune-in.
Well, I want the hard
Not
crunch.
all the blood is flowing. That's what I'm saying.
The endorphins haven't rushed to the brain yet.
Okay. Is this like a sexual episode of TV Tuners?
Or it's the Gilmore Girls, Keo.
Yeah. So there's no better... Also, it was a particularly horny episode of the Gilmore Girls.
Probably.
It's definitely preoccupied with sex. Not sure if that's horny, though.
I guess that's true, yeah. I'm sure there are hornier episodes to come.
Is Hellraiser horny?
Yes.
Oh.
But in like a perverted way.
I mean, it's preoccupied with sex, but I don't...
It's horny in like a bad way.
Horny and evil.
Yes, exactly. Which is my go-to alignment in D&D.
Yeah, is there like a horny alignment chart?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
I am not Googling that, though.
You scared?
Anything else there?
I watched the Matrix sequels.
Oh. Alright, how they hold up? I've been, the new one is coming out soon, so I've been thinking about maybe it's time to go back and watch those.
Revolutions kind of sucks ass.
The final one?
Yeah, the final one.
Was the final one?
Was the final one, yeah. Because basically you have like the battle for Zion that takes up like an hour of the movie, and I just don't really care at all about any of the characters involved or any of the action.
Damn. So you're saying it needed more Lawrence Fishburne?
Yes. He doesn't do anything in that film.
That's a shame.
Reloaded, on the other hand, is pretty badass. And I think it was unfairly smeared by the critics. It's got some great set pieces.
Is Reloaded the one that features the scene where he goes into like the palace and starts fighting everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kicks ass.
Yeah, he's fighting all the werewolves.
Yeah. Yeah, the Matrix movies are wild. The last two, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of that.
The end. Okay. Yeah, let's see. What did I watch? So I've been catching up on this little known show. Not many people heard of it, called Rick and Morty.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a new season out. I think I'm about halfway through it now. It's, listen, I'm gonna drop a bombshell on you guys. It's not good.
Oh, no.
There was, I think, maybe one episode that I was like, this is alright. The rest have been just sort of... I think maybe it's because the last episode I watched was a particularly awful episode, by all intents and purposes.
Yeah, what's so bad about it, Swanson?
Alright. I'm trying to think of how... So, first off, the name is called Rick Dependence Spray.
Oh my god.
So, Rick unknowingly uses Morty's sperm to create giant sperm monsters.
Oh, so it's like that episode of Family Guy where Stewie gets pregnant with Brian's child?
Well, no one... Okay, I was going to say no one gets pregnant, but someone does... They do almost impregnate Summer. No. And it's a lot of just them being like, wow, you... So the reason this happened was that Morty's mom's a horse doctor or whatever, and Morty saw the thing that they used to get sperm from the horses and used that to jerk off.
To cure
and then
COVID.
I guess the doctors kept it, and Rick stole some horse sperm for some reason. I forget what he was using it for. Probably something dumb. And he uses Morty's thing, and it causes sperm monsters. And yeah, it's a really dumb episode of a show that...
Which one's Rick? And
he's Doc Brown, and Morty is Marty.
Okay, so who's stealing the horse sperm? Rick?
Rick is.
And then Morty
has unknowingly used the horse, like put his sperm into the horse.
Wait, so Morty finds his jerk-off machine, and that jerks off?
No. He's hanging out with his mom, and he sees this machine. He's hanging out with his mom at work.
And he's like, I gotta stick my dick into this. Or he's like,
because he's a teenager. And then it does the job and everything, and then I guess it just collects his stuff. And Rick takes it.
I thought Morty was more level-headed than that.
Well, I guess the idea here is that he's a teenager, so he would do something like this. But I don't know about all that.
Oh, jeez, Ricky, I'm gonna come.
And yeah, it's a whole thing. There's an abnormal sperm that Morty calls Sticky that recognizes him.
Oh, that
doesn't attack him.
That sounds like One Punch Man.
And there's a whole thing with the U.S. military where they're trying to... There's horse people involved who are called Chuds.
Cannibalistic horse?
And,
underground dwellers?
Yeah, there's a lot here. It feels like to the point, like, it's dumb to the point where it feels like they were trying to see how much dumb stuff they could fit into one episode to try, like... I don't know. This is the problem that I have with this season, which is that half of it feels like they were like, well, we've got renewed for like 70 episodes, so we can just do whatever we want.
So wait, this is your favorite episode of all time. That's what you're saying.
That's right. Yeah, I love this episode. 10 out of 10. Would recommend to everybody.
Tune in on...
Finally, you get to tune in on
Rick and Morty season whatever this is.
11.
Season 5. I mean, I don't know if I should tune in or tune out yet, because I only watched half of it.
I think that's like a lot more than we usually give a program, isn't it?
I guess that's true. Right now, I'll say this is a tune out. There's some fun episodes there, but honestly, nothing's different. This is the other problem. They haven't quite reached Simpsons where it's like Simpsons overload level yet, but they're getting there. They're like season 10 right now.
Uh-oh.
Is King of the Hill the only one that avoided
the
that?
signs are here. They're close to the edge of being irrelevant.
So was King of the Hill the only show that avoided that? I never hear anyone talking about how it dropped off in quality or anything.
I don't know if anyone ever complains that it dropped off in quality, just that, like, some, like, the later seasons did drag a little bit.
Oh.
But never, like, to the level of, like, The Simpsons or anything. I was gonna say Futurama, but the Comedy Central years aren't very well liked, I don't think, so.
But yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right. I think King of the Hill is the only one that's managed to... Because even a show that people like American Dad, which is still somehow on the air, has been on TBS for like 10 years at this point.
Yeah.
And no one watches it. I'm sure people watch it. Don't at me.
I'm not even sure they're making new episodes. I think they're just airing them over and over and daring people to call them out.
So they announced like a new season of American Dad, and it's just like old episodes again.
Yeah, it's just the hot tub episode again.
I mean, how can they possibly afford Patrick Stewart for another season?
It's true. He's busy. He's got Star Trek Picard. He couldn't possibly step into a recording booth for a couple hours.
When are we doing a TV Tuners episode on American Dad?
Well, the first season would be rough, but after that, I think it's probably good smooth sailing.
I feel like we would be stepping on someone who will not be named's toes.
Huh? Who?
Huh? A certain other podcast
that we're talking about right now, in other words?
Ballin' Out Super? They do Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, you're right. We're fine as long as we don't do Dragon Ball Z. Or Yu-Gi-Oh!
Or G Gundam.
I think they're doing Yu-Gi-Oh! GX on their
we can do whatever we want, Stare.
I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Who's gonna stop us? God?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. That would make good podcast material, honestly.
If God, like, smote Stairmaster in the middle of the recording.
That would be the best.
Well, any of us.
Specifically with a lightning bolt that, like, goes through, like, his entire house and just, like, obliterates him.
Yeah, and in the recording he says, "I'm God and I've decreed this."
Every day I pray that happens. Every day that we're recording, I mean.
Yeah.
But he does not listen.
Yeah, it's almost it's hard to say whether or not he listens at all.
To the podcast? No.
Yeah, like God listens.
Like it's on his like list, but he never gets to it.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of people here. All right. Well, that's it for all of that junk. So let's get to the episode proper.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Sure, why not?
All right. So we watched episode 5 of Gilmore Girls, Cinnamon's Wake. And yeah, let's get into it. So there are 2 runners in this episode, 2 running sort of joke plot lines that go through. I guess 3 runners. So I'm gonna list them here, and you guys tell me if these count as runners or not. So you got this thing with Lorelai's mom, where she's going to a funeral of like an extremely distant relative.
Yes.
And then they book. I guess it's a bookend, right? Because it starts the episode and ends.
Not a runner.
So it's not a runner. Okay. There is a fun joke about hanging out with Nazis here. By fun, I mean one that brought some questions to my mind.
It was the 90s. So, you didn't have to worry about anything anymore.
Yeah, that's true. It was there's a gag here where Lorelai mentions like, "Well, you weren't hanging out with Nazis, were you?" And her mom doesn't get the joke, and then her mom does make a joke later about that they did hang out with one Nazi, and Lorelai's appalled before realizing it's a joke.
Yeah, she's your basic liberal scold, Lorelai. I mean,
yeah. And her mom is the person who would actually hang out. That's the thing I was thinking about here, which is like, yeah, sure, you probably didn't hang out with an actual legitimate German Nazi, but you hung out with some ideological similars.
I mean, if the Nazis came to America, she would definitely become one of them.
Yes, 100%.
Her status and position in the social hierarchy.
Yeah. There's no way that wouldn't happen. But yeah, that's just a thought that's one of those delightful thoughts that crosses your mind when you watch this television show, Gilmore Girls. So yeah, we the most of this episode is focused on both of the Gilmore Girls' love lives. There's it does a thing that a couple other episodes have done, where both of the stories with Rory and Lorelai are sort of running in parallel to each other. And it makes this one real obvious because both of the love interests for them say at one point or another, "Goodbye, Lorelai Gilmore," to both of them. So they make it a bit more obvious than maybe they needed to. But, yeah, so we get, we start out by getting introduced to Rory's, person. I don't remember his name.
Man.
But, yeah, I wish I remembered his name. I don't know. He's, I think his name is Dean. Let's say it's Dean. He follows her onto the bus, and in a very mildly charming and mostly weird way, says hello to her. Now, I'm just going to pose this question. If you're on the bus and a person
startles you,
surprises you from behind, yeah.
Oh?
How do you feel about that?
A surprise from behind?
Yeah, from the other seat. Yeah.
I would not want to be around that person.
Yeah, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, hey." Well, what if he's like mildly charming in like a very weird way, like a very just well-meaning way?
If they're weird and mildly charming, that combination is always a serial killer. They've got to be very charming or not weird.
Well, do you think? Okay, I guess the question is, do you think this guy's weird?
He's weird.
Well, it was the 90s. I think that's just how men.
Well, technically, this is 2000.
It's the 90s until 9/11, Swanson. You know this.
Yeah. That's what they always say. It's in the rule book.
Now, I'm not really sure what Stairmaster's idea of the 90s exactly...
masculine ideal was.
It's just like...
He wants everyone to be Al Bundy, right? That's what you're idea, Easter.
Is that what you think this guy's acting like?
No, I don't think he's acting like Al Bundy.
Bitch!
I'm just saying, I don't recall it being a social norm to like jump up from behind people and say hello so that they jump in fear of you in the 90s, but
yeah, it seems like it seems like a teenager's idea of what a social norm is.
Like a teenager. I guess they
boy.
Are teenagers. I don't know, but personally, as a grown adult individual here, I would be like very off put by that behavior.
Yeah, this would be like a no, oh no. I certainly wouldn't go into the supermarket to stare at them and buy a head of lettuce.
I mean, I might do that, but it would be against my better judgment.
True. Yeah, so one of the runners that we get in this episode, if you want to call it that, I don't know if this is even a runner, is this, the dance teacher is in the supermarket and she has an encounter with the new assistant manager, who is being sort of a dick, I guess. I don't know who's in the wrong in this situation, really.
Really,
because I've worked...
Swanson, it's like the film Parasite. Everyone is degraded by the system that they exist under.
I guess that's true. I tend to, if I was the assistant manager in a retail chain and I saw someone was just, eating food...
Weren't you?
I wouldn't give a shit.
Weren't you assistant manager at one point in your life?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not...
Okay.
I'm not fucking...
So if someone was...
John Valjean somebody over them just munching on a carrot.
Or a television in your case. Since you worked in an appliance store.
That's right, yeah. That's what you would call the Dollar General.
That was an appliance store.
You can buy
they have machines there, but it's not just for machines there.
A dollar television, imagine that. That's the future we could have had if Bernie had won.
That was the dream of the 90s, a dollar
They
television.
were going to roll out the dollar guns, but it just never materialized.
Well, they did that in World War II.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah. They had this one-shot gun that they gave to the French partisans.
How'd that go?
It was called the Liberty or something. Well, they used it to stick people up, and then they got rid of it because it was so terrible.
So it didn't go over very well.
I mean, it was marginally useful.
Let's get the dollar hang glider.
That sounds safe. What's the worst that could happen with that? So, So I don't know if this is a runner or more of a gag, because this assistant manager guy is like, hey, listen, I don't want you eating stuff anymore. All right. And then he sees her later at the wake for this cat, which we'll get into. And he's like, hey, I talked to the owner, and you're apparently like a big deal. So, yeah, it's all good. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. You're forgiven. Just this once.
And then she takes a sip of clam juice.
Is that what she was drinking?
Is that why this episode happens?
I don't think it was clam juice, but that was, for some reason, where my mind went when I saw her drinking whatever that drink was.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess that's just a gag, right? That's not a runner.
Yeah.
A runner should probably be more than just two
you're
scenes,
eager to
two
identify
jokes.
runners in these programs, Swanson.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of weird, just one-off gags in this episode focused on other characters.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I do have one runner that is actually in this episode, which is that Coffee Man and the chef lady, Sookie, and whatever that guy's name is. It's been a while since we watched that episode of Gilmore Girls. They're having a bit of a rivalry. Luke is the guy's name.
He did it.
They're having a bit of a rivalry because she, at some point, goes behind his counter and starts doing a better job than him.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
And he doesn't like that.
You can't have that.
Do you remember that news story about that guy who was really into trains? So he got on the New York subway and started driving the train around for a day and did a really good job.
Did he go to jail?
And all the passengers... Yeah, he went to jail.
Yeah. That's how the system works.
The passengers loved him.
Yeah, he should have gotten a job from it because he was good.
You got to follow the rules, Swanson. You know what Stairmaster says?
Justice must be upheld at all costs.
Stairmaster says this world has rules and we got to follow them, bros.
That is classic Stairmaster. It's a quote that you can put right next to his face.
You actually can. He did say that.
It is not enough that I win, but others must lose.
But, yeah, I don't even think this runner is such that it is. This one is an official runner because it goes through a couple things. But I don't think it has an actual conclusion, does it?
Not that I...
No, he just yells at her and threatens a murderer if she ever comes back behind the counter.
No, later I think... I guess
about?
The closest thing to a conclusion is that later he lets her put some stuff on his plate that is hers, right? I guess that's the closest thing to a conclusion that happens between these two. Because the gag later is that they show up at the wake and they're trying to get in at the same time, and they do the classic enter the door at the same time and both can't fit gag.
And then they begin to fuse together like Time Cop.
Yeah. And then they become looky.
Oh no.
And they're just, yeah, they're I don't know what the combination of those two would be, but it's not pleasant. They don't get along for a little bit, and then like Luke relents and is just like, yeah, whatever, you can put some stuff on the plate. And I guess that's the end of the runner.
Yeah.
I don't know, feels a little weak if you ask me.
They should have kissed.
Yeah.
We're only 5 episodes into this program.
Yeah, and make them kiss.
We gotta make the audience wait a little bit on a program like this.
It's true. I think part of the reason that this episode is a bit lukewarm, pun not intended, for me, is that our favorite character on the show,
French guy,
Mikkel, only has a few
guy.
scenes. Yeah, that's Mikkel. Yeah, he has this. It's not even a runner. It's just this one gag, and we don't get to see him again, which is a shame. These French people come into the hotel and they're speaking French, and he refuses to acknowledge that they are speaking French to him. He says that he's a boy from Texas.
He says he doesn't like French people. because they're insufferable.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he's not in France.
And
also because they probably murdered his ancestors.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of lore from Miguel this week.
Oh, you should buy us a copy so we can watch the Battle of Algeria and educate Keo on this.
Yeah, I don't know if Keo needs educating so much as that he's just sort of reading the text on the screen, and aka what he is saying.
Oh, yeah, I didn't have subtitles for his French. Do you know what he was saying?
Oh, I don't know what he was saying. They didn't have subtitles in this. I mean, what him and Lorelai were talking about. Essentially, Mikael has to just speak French to them and talk to them and act like a normal French man. And he says, "I shall be French, but I shall not be happy." And I guess that's just his default state. But then we don't get any more scenes with that. I need more scenes of this guy having to yuck it up with these French people that he hates.
Why do you want him to suffer like this?
I just want to see it. It's funny.
We just want to feel something, Keo.
Yeah, this is like the funniest part of the episode to me. So I just want to see more.
He's always the funniest part of the episode. The show should be about him.
Yeah, that's what you do with the bit characters, right? You just sort of Family Matters it. Yeah, that's true. It worked for both Better Call Saul and Family Matters.
And Frasier.
Equal shows with equal quality. So, yeah. The main thrust of the episode, such that it is, without all of these other gags involved, is that Lorelai is there's like a bake sale going on or something, so she has Sookie make all of these baked goods. And while she's there, she meets the teacher from I think the last episode, maybe?
He's been around. He's been hanging out.
Yeah. And he's, as we already know, he's got the hots for Lorelai, so he's just full. At this point, he's just like, "Hey, why don't we date?" And she's like, "I'm not sure about that." And he's like, "Well, why don't we just like meet up at a coffee shop by happenstance?" She's like, "I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with that, technically speaking."
And if we coincidentally step into the same restroom and our pants fall off at the same time,
there's no telling what could
roll
happen.
The dice.
Yeah, exactly. That's the sort of mental gymnastics that are going on here, because this man is just very desperate for a date with Lorelai.
He has never had sex in his life. He realizes the clock is ticking down.
He has 24 hours remaining to have sex.
Or he'll die. Yeah, this sounds like a really great like 90s movie. Starring, I don't know, Chris Farley.
What's it called? An ungrateful proposition? A distasteful proposition?
That would be the name of the movie, yeah. Okay, hold on. Who would be better in this role? Chris Farley or David Spade?
It would be Michael Douglas if it's about a guy.
No, it's a comedy. You need a comedic actor from the 90s.
You said it was a thriller!
I did not. The word never crossed my mind. Or my lips, even.
Alright. I think it should be a thriller with Michael Douglas. Or William Dafoe.
What about the prospect of a man needs to... and a man needs to have sex in 24 hours or dies? Suggest the thriller and not an absurd comedy.
Well, if he dies,
are there people like
and that's very
with
dire.
guns trying to stop him or something?
Yeah, what's happened? The Russian mob has come in. It's like, "You haven't had sex yet. You're dead in 24 hours unless you get wet."
There's like a bomb in his prostate or something. That's put there by the CIA.
That's still not a...
All right, well, in that case...
Still does not make it a thriller.
Yeah, in that case, it's not Michael Douglas, it's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
It's a thriller, it's a black comedy.
All right. Okay, in that case...
But, well, I guess he wouldn't have sex at the end if it's a black comedy. So I guess
it is.
It's a dry comedy, it's a satirical thriller.
You know what? Rest in peace.
Funny moments.
You know who you get in this? Rest in peace. You get Norm Macdonald.
Ah, yes.
There we go. We found it, everybody. We got there. So yeah, Max is like, all right, I look forward to this not date coffee meeting that we're having. And
what if this is like one of Arnold's comeback films trying to save his failing career?
They put the bomb in my colon.
I need you to take off your pants. Your clothes, give them to me. Oh my god, they just...
He only speaks in lines from other movies.
I have 24 hours to get consensual sex.
It would be very funny for them to do a Terminator parody in that. Where he's running around naked.
Yeah, and you know they would.
And for some reason, someone's carrying a box of roses.
Well, no, that's what he's using to cover up.
He's using it to not only cover up,
roses,
but also to entice women.
Right, yeah. Well, that's what they gave it for originally. And then, like, a series of incidents happens where he's now naked, but doesn't have access to clothes. So he has to, like, run around.
And music from Terminator 2 is playing, so it's like, Don.
And they even hire Robert Patrick as the, like...
as a police officer to try and stop him.
Yeah. Yeah.
This would have been the greatest movie of all time.
What's the title of this bad boy?
Ooh. 69 minutes. No.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's only one sex number, and it's about time, but we can't have it be the sex number.
We'll workshop it. Yeah.
Biological clock?
24 cell?
And then float. That doesn't work because they didn't have the concept of incels yet.
24 cells good, though. I don't know. Biological clock is good because you can do the classic 90s, like, have a tagline at the bottom where, like, it's ticking for us all.
24 hours to love?
That doesn't sound like a comedy.
About a man.
Like, biological clock works in the sense that, like, you could see it and, like, on the cover it would be, like, Arnold, like, exasperated. Like, looking at a watch.
Hold on, I gotta fend off the attackers. I'll be right back.
The sex mafia.
They've come for Keo.
It is time to face the trial. You got, like, a weird German man. That's the bad guy who puts the bomb in Arnold.
Yeah, so like an actor that you've never heard of, really. He's got like 3 credits, and this is his most famous.
Maybe it's Gary Busey. Maybe Gary Busey's putting the bomb in Arnold.
I'm gonna put a bomb in your ass.
I got a little challenge for you, John.
Well, yeah, his name would have to be John. John Carpenter.
John Guizamo.
Oh, that's his buddy?
No, he's got an Italian last name for some reason.
So he's got the name of an Italian actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
John
Who's not in
Michael
the movie.
Douglas Guizamo. Oh, maybe Michael Douglas is in the movie, and he's like the guy who's giving advice to Arnold.
Alright, I won.
You just gotta do it, man.
You gotta be yourself. Like Arnold's trying to pick up women by pretending to be American. And Michael Douglas is like, no, you gotta use the accent. It's sexy. It's mysterious. It's regal.
Hey there, would you like to go pick up some hamburgers with me?
And they're just like off put, and then he shows up again, and he's like, hello, would you like to pick up some hamburgers with me?
Your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Give them to me.
And he thinks he's scoring.
Crossfades to a shot of waterfalls.
Yeah. Well, no, obviously the play in this movie, because it is a 90s comedy, is that he gets with, like, the lady who's, like, right there the whole time.
Yeah. The intel operative at the anti-sex mafia agency.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a cop trying to track down the sex mafia. And they spring one on him.
Yeah.
And the sex mafia, of course, Keo, is led by Gary Busey.
Oh, of course.
Well, that's the thing. I think the way this movie has to work to get Arnold to sign on is that you have to imply that it's a mistaken identity thing, because Arnold will not go for a movie where he has never had sex in his life.
Okay, so there's like he plays 2 characters. One is Arnold, this regular beefy Arnold, and one is also beefy Arnold, but he has glasses on, really big ones.
Yes, and his hair is sort of slicked back.
And he's trying to do an impression of a guy on the spectrum.
Yeah. which will be very tasteful in the 90s.
This is what we should have had instead of The Sixth Day.
Yeah, this would have been a good movie right here. Keo, if we ever get access to like a time travel machine, we need to sort of get... I feel like everything would have changed if this movie came out.
First we gotta rob a bank.
Yeah.
And then we can pay for the movie.
I think we would all be dead, though.
Well, we just gotta get enough money now to go back and use it.
Not if we travel far enough back in time and, like, use machine guns on cowboys.
I think if we alter the timeline too much, it'll... I don't know. Like...
Well, here's the thing, Keo. Here's my theory. This movie comes out, a lot of things change. Al Gore becomes president. 9/11 probably doesn't happen. Not because of Al Gore, just because this movie's so good.
9/11 does happen, but only one of the towers goes down.
Yeah.
9/11 happens, but it goes wrong and it hits George W. Bush instead. It's hoisted by his own petard.
Who's not president.
Yeah, he accidentally turned the remote control around on the cruise missiles, so he hits himself.
Cruise missiles.
Like, everything is just changed with this movie, is my theory.
I'm just curious about these cruise missiles.
Well, you know, we'll learn more about it as we experience this new timeline that we're creating.
Oh,
okay.
You know, the cruise missiles with the holograms on top of them that make them look like planes.
Oh, yeah, those ones. I remember. From the documentary that we all watched together, like, what was it, like, Spare Quarters or something like that?
Yeah, it was, Spare Change. Yeah, so what's going on in this show? Yeah, so we get introduced to, I think we've already met the weird neighbors before, but we introduced to their cat who can't walk and has sort of just been...
Cinnamon. My favorite character thus far.
Yeah, because she's a good girl?
Yeah, she's a good girl. She didn't deserve that. Look how they massacred my girl.
Yeah, she's a old cat who can't really walk, so they built this little wagon for her that they carry her around in and drive her around. And so it's a good time. They seem to she's just hanging out with the cat, and it's a good time. Rory finds her later, and they say that they're going back to their place because they ate clams at the pancake place, and that they've had a bad reaction to the clams. Would you eat clams anywhere, let alone a place that sells pancakes?
I feel sick just thinking about the idea of eating
clams. Think about drinking clam juice.
No, I don't want to think about that, actually.
Like, clams are like an alien life form.
Essentially, when you get that far to the bottom, to the ocean, when you're in the ocean that far, and you find stuff...
With ocean, man.
You can't be eating it.
It's basically another planet.
I'm just
down there.
Yeah, we've essentially got a second Earth down in the water where just like organisms that we can't even fathom are just...
Okay, picture this, guys. You are stranded on an island. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
You have 24 hours to have sex or you will explode.
There you go, sex island.
Here's the actual situation. You're stranded on an island, and a bunch of you're hungry. You got nothing to eat, and a bunch of clams wash up on shore.
Oh God, I'm dying.
You're not gonna crack one open and have a snack.
I mean, I probably will. I'm not a monster. I'm not inhuman. I will give in.
How long would you put it off?
I don't know. How much food can I find beforehand?
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not going to be able to find any, but how long would you, like, try to find other food before eating the clams?
I don't know, like a day.
Okay, reasonable enough. Stare?
In the actual heat of the moment, probably not a day, but right now I'll say a day.
Stare, what do you think?
I'd probably just hang myself if I was stranded on a tropical island.
You would just give up like day one, just figure out a way to die?
What are the odds? I mean, come on.
Well, what if you're preparing to end it all and you get like a castaway situation and you get saved?
Oh, that'd be Well, then I could write a book about
What
that.
if it was a simulation?
Oh yeah, you were on like the island.
Yeah, how'd you feel about that?
It suddenly becomes a white void, and Lawrence Fishburne is like, no,
What if there was
you must try
What if
harder.
there was a rape boy?
What? No.
Excuse me?
Nope.
Like on
No.
Island.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right.
You guys forgot about that
Okay.
entirely?
I'm glad you explained.
Yes!
I'm glad you explained. Former episode of the podcast, The Island, by the way. We're not just making up a TV show now in conjunction with our other made-up movie.
There was literally a character who was just there to be like a sex pest, and then like, did he die? I don't remember.
No,
Not in the
not
first
technically. I
episode,
mean,
no.
he does. I don't know how to describe what happens in that show.
I think I looked at the episode synopsis, and then he became like a Vegeta figure.
So
Yeah, he doesn't. He
he redeems himself just by like not doing it anymore.
I guess.
He
That show is wild in terms of how much dumb ideas they pack into like an 8-episode show. So it's an interesting thing.
tune in.
So yeah, this cat ends up dying, and Lorelai and Rory and like I guess the whole town pretty much spends the entire day at the wake for this cat. Which I guess is a funny idea on paper, but it's actually just kind of like a charming thing, right? Like, oh yeah, they're all honoring this cat.
Yeah, this could not happen today because of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
It definitely could
Depending on where you
happen
live.
today.
depending
Yeah.
on where you live.
Yeah, well, also, I think Stars Hollow is supposed to have like 50 people tops.
Yeah,
so I
they would
imagine
probably-
the COVID rate is not very high at Stars Hollow.
I assumed they wiped them all out.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible, I suppose.
Are they that old there?
This is there's probably a lot of old people there, yeah. Especially
Yeah,
now, because you figure this is 21 years ago.
And I feel like they'd be very eager to open up when Biden says it's safe. And then they just get nailed by breakthrough cases over the course of the next 6 months.
I mean, breakthrough cases aren't really
I mean,
that...
statistically speaking,
that deadly.
not all 50 of them would die.
The thing about breakthrough cases is that most of them are like... They're just infections. They're not like super serious.
And 50% of them aren't going to die. It's not 100% death rate. So I feel like 5 of them are dead?
Okay, 5 of them are dead. And then 10 years from now, the city's underwater. Because of global warming.
Is it?
In Connecticut?
Yeah. That's next to Delaware, and Delaware is very at risk for sea level rise.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be like a pump-based supervillain in the next 5 to 10 years who's going to like flood the earth that way, honestly.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, okay.
I would sign up for that guy's army.
What's his name?
Well,
Dr. Pump?
I don't know. We have to workshop this for, I think, at least... We need like a whole boardroom meeting on this one, probably.
We need to spend 15 minutes brainstorming ideas.
We need to get
for
it
our
focus
new
group. We need to get it focus grouped, and we need to make sure that everyone agrees on the
I think
name.
his name should be like
I would-
Dr. Pumpernickel or something like that.
Okay, we'll see what the focus group thinks on that. So the doctor says that this cat was 260 years old in human years, which makes it like what? Like it makes it like 70 years old in cat years or something.
Wouldn't that make it like 40 years old?
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. It's very old is the point. And they have a line where one of the people, one of the owners is just like, you never realize how old a cat is until it's gone. It's like, I don't know, I feel like I would be like, wow, this cat's 40 years old?
Oh, I'm constantly thinking about how old my cats are. And
Yeah.
how old my parents are. And how
How
old
old
I'm
you are.
getting.
Yeah. Yeah, what a great life we
I have this
lead.
Time comes
I have this portrait of myself like on the wall, and like every day it gets like 5 years older.
Oh, that's cool.
No,
No, it's not cool. Why? What's wrong with that? It sounds cool to me.
Oh, it's cool until it breaks.
Yeah. Sounds cool right now. I guess that's not how the story goes, though, right? It's not every day it gets older.
No.
Yeah, that sounds worse, actually. You got a worse deal than Mr. Gray.
I would agree.
So, another thing that I noticed about this wake scene here, which is mostly just, like, nice and isn't really funny, is that it appears that the house that these people live in is a hobbit house. Was I the only one who noticed that every, like, actor had to bend to get into the house and move around?
No, I didn't notice.
Something felt uncanny about it.
Yeah, like...
there didn't seem to be any furniture they could sit down on.
Yeah, they're all standing. They're moving around throughout this house that seems too small for them.
Oh, yeah. Like, they commented on it. They said, like, the husband, like, hit his head multiple times or something.
Yeah. Just a very nice... I thought it was a very weird detail that they never reveal why. And I can't tell if I like it or if I'm just confused by it.
I think it's sort of like a dream when you're not confident about something, like you're trying to shoot someone and the bullets turn in teeth and fall out of your gun. Like the room was just very off-kilter and it didn't have anything that a room needs.
Yeah. As for the main crux of this this episode here, the teacher guy and Lorelai have a nice little coffee date, and they agree to go on an actual date. Rory eventually finds out, and she's not super thrilled with the idea here, but Lorelai makes it pretty obvious that, you know,
it's going to happen.
And yeah, that she does want that. Also, she makes it obvious that she wants to date him, and like they parallel it with Lorelai's feelings for this Dean guy, I guess. And
for Corey.
Yeah, that's right. And it's fine, I guess. There is a weird subtext here that's never actually stated, but it does feel like in the speech, Lorelai should have just been like, listen, they really need to get laid.
True.
Because she does bring it up late. She does bring it up to her friend, Sookie, and Sookie seems to not understand what she's talking about. And I mean, that seems to be the whole running thing here, right? It's like, oh yeah, that guy's cute, but also, Anyway, Rory gives her permission, I guess. I don't know how to read the ending of this. Rory is like, yeah, it doesn't bother me. And she's like, all right, peace out. Time for me to hang out with your teacher on a date where we might get laid. The end.
Yeah, good ending. Thank you, Swanson.
Bye. Now back to biological clock.
Yeah, the real episode.
Okay, go ahead.
What about it?
Okay, so I think there should be like a fake out where Arnie convinces them that he's not the guy they wanted to put the bomb in, so they give it to nerd Arnie. But then he has a crisis of consciousness, and like the third act of the movie is Arnie trying to get nerd Arnie laid.
Wait, so there's two. Wait. So It's not a Clark Kent situation where he's the same person. It's just actually two separate characters, both played by.
Yeah, who look exactly the same. By
okay. I thought we were doing a scenario where he was going like undercover as like a nerd boy.
Now that is funny too, and I guess it would be easier to film.
Because that's like a good role for Arnold to trying to play like a nerd boy.
Yeah.
And then like these hapless mobsters buy into it. And I think I know who the guy should be if he's willing.
Oh, who's the guy?
The guy who leads the mob, Joe Pesci.
Oh, I thought we agreed on Gary Busey.
Yeah, but that's all well and good. But what if it was Joe Pesci?
Well, I think there has to be a fight. I think there has to be a fight at the end, Swanson.
You don't think Joe Pesci could fight?
No. Arnie would break him in half.
Well, yeah, it shouldn't be a close fight. Well, that's the other thing. Is Gary Busey capable of fighting Arnold Schwarzenegger?
He's tricky, at least. He's wily.
Right. I guess
he can do like dodge rolls while Arnold tries to punch him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, Gary Busey it is. Sorry, Mr. Pesci. You had your chance. Your time in the sun is done.
He could be the regular mafia guy who gets killed by Gary Busey at the start of the film to establish.
So we've got regular mafia guys too?
Yeah, but they get wiped out by the sex mafia.
Why is the sex mafia so effective?
Because they get laid.
Because sex is the most powerful human desire.
Yeah, come on, Keo Rain. Use your head here, buddy.
Yeah, why have Arnie say that?
Yeah. Someone will ask that exact question and Arnie will answer it.
This should be a sequel to True Lies 2. To True Lies. True Lies 2, Biological Clock.
But Arnie's playing a completely different person.
No. His wife is just on vacation.
But I was... Alright, sure. Yeah.
Or on another mission on the other side of the planet.
Alright. What's the worst that could happen here? Alright, what did we think of this episode?
It was alright.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fine. It was like...
B+.
It was the definition of this show, which is it's innocuous, mostly charming, sometimes funny.
Yeah. It didn't upset me.
Yeah. I'll give it a light tune in.
I guess I'll give it a tune in.
Yeah, I'll give it a tune in. That's alright. It's okay.
Yeah, that's a tune in on Gilmore Girls, which is good because we've apparently got 10 more or 5 more of these bad boys.
Please use the correct numbers.
Yeah, that would be devastating to find out that we had 10 more episodes of this.
I was about to have a stroke.
But hey, that's not until that's not next week.
Oh,
because we've got another Buy Me a Coffee submission that we're going to get to. We're going to be watching the Canadian animated program Redwall next week.
The one with Bruce Willis.
What are you thinking of?
Red?
Oh, okay. No, that's this is an animated television program that's made that's made primarily in Canada, but I think is also French and German based. It's Redwall. It's about like a bunch of mice doing mice things.
Frago keeps asking me about
this
episode coming out, so he's going to be very happy to know we're going to do it soon.
Yeah, that'll be out next week, even. So we'll be talking about that. Get ready, everybody. That's going to be a fun time where we're going to be talking about mice doing mice things. We love mice, don't we?
No.
We love them, folks. Little guys.
We all love mice here, folks. We all
just
do.
Imagine,
everybody.
like,
a lot of people.
Trump comes out one day, he's trying to get us to like something that no.
He's holding a shoebox and there's a little mouse inside it.
Listen, everybody. A lot of people say, "What about the mice? What about the mice?" And I'm going to tell you right now: when I become president again, the mice are safe.
$20 trillion.
When I'm president, they're gonna have so much feed. They'll just be filling the streets.
It's gonna be. Listen, people say we want the mice back. Bring back the mice. Well, listen, it's going to happen on the subway, in the alleyways. Mice
in the ghettos.
So yeah, that'll be next week. But hey, if you've got a suggestion of your own of something you want us to watch, well, all you got to do is go over to Buy Me a Coffee /TV Tuners. A single coffee gets you something for us to discuss on the pod, a bonus episode, if you will. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. We'll be back next week with more TV goodness. Until then, keep watching. Bye.
Bye.
It's over.
I found him.
Hey folks, it's time for the TV Tuners Fact of the Week. Did you know that Stairmaster is Arnold Schwarzenegger?
That's right.